Hi guys, Phil Short here, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This week we're looking at Just Kiss My Baby by The Meters. Now this track is a masterclass in time feel and rhythm guitar and playing behind the beat and really kind of getting into a groove. So even though the parts are quite simple, this is really a very challenging part to play, and to be able to play consistently and really maintain that sense of groove and change the kind of rhythmic feels from this slightly swung feel that we have at the beginning and some of the lines which are played with a more straight rhythm. We're also going to be having a look at using the wah pedal as well, and we're going to bust a few myths about funk as well. Often we'll assume that funk will involve loads of 16th notes and kind of loads of chaka-chakas on the right hand. We're very much not going to be seeing any of that in this track. There's going to be a lot of space, a lot of left hand muting, and the wah pedal is going to be used very much as a rhythmical device as well. It's a very important part of the groove, so we're not just going to randomly move it up and down. We're very much going to use this to our advantage to help give that sense of a kind of rhythmic feel and time feel. So let's get into the main groove for the track. The main groove is based around G minor pentatonic, and we're doing some double stops on the top two strings. And then we're going to be doing this bouncing off rhythm between G on the 5th fret of the D string, and then chromatically climbing up from the low E back to the G. And we're going to be using this kind of half-cocked wah type thing. And you'll hear as well that the tone is not super pristine clean, but it's slightly on the edge of breakup. And we're going to use like a split coil sound. If you're on a Strat, you probably want to be using the back pickup or maybe the middle pickup, so it's a nice spanky hard attack. If you've got humbuckers like I've got, then you're going to want to use a split coil sound to get it to sound close. So I'll just play the riff. It goes like this. Okay, so that's kind of the main groove for the whole song, and that's going to be the main thing. Now, really important part is using the wah pedal to get these parts right. And we've got this half swung feel, so we're going to be starting with the wah kind of half cocked, and then we're going to bring it back. So it's almost like with the long notes, I slowly open the wah, and then for the short notes, I bring the wah right back so that they stop dead. Or kind of stop it dead right at the top of the toe. Now for that ascending part, we're going to be all the way to the toe, so it's a bright sound, and then we're going to pull it all the way back for the bass notes. So we'll kind of hear this real sleazy, lazy kind of feel. Now at the end there, this is quite fiddly, this next part. When we get to the last note of the riff to the G, we're going to get this rhythm that goes ba-da ba-da. Alright, and we're going to create that rhythm with the wah, the sweep of the wah. The bass will be going on the octaves, but we're not going to do it on the octaves. We're going to play the G with the wah back on the heel, and then we're going to open it to the toe, like that, so it'll be part of the rhythm. Okay, so that's how the riff is going to work. So that's our main groove. Now this will take a little bit of time to really practice getting that kind of lazy feel. Practice with the track, really important to take your reference for the time feel from the track. If you have access to a wah, do try and practice with the wah. at home, but if not, there will be a wah at LPW that you can use. So that's the main groove. Now there's a B section where the riff will, rather than go round from the G and climb up chromatically back to the low G note, it will just climb up from the G to the A. Okay, and we'll come into A and we'll play the exact same thing a tone higher. Okay, so that opening riff will be the same, but it's going to be slightly different now. We're going to get this unison riff where we'll also hear the horns come in, and it's based around your A minor pentatonic, and the riff will go like this. We'll ascend from the G on fret 5 of the D string, and then drop down to the octave below. Okay, that's our little riff. Okay, now when we play this riff, really importantly, we're going to move from playing this half swung feel to a straight feel. So it's going to move from, and we're going to get this straight rhythm forced over the top. So being able to switch between feeling that slightly behind the beat straight rhythm and then that slightly half swung thing is quite a tricky thing to do, but it's a really important thing to learn to be able to hear as well, because this is going to be a real significant part of the sense of the groove and the sound of the song. Now, the other important thing that we need to note is to help us get the right sort of feel for that straight part of the riff is we're going to use all down strokes. Now when I played it before, I did use alternate picking out of habit, but really we want to use all down strokes if we can to get it to have that kind of sense of urgency to it and kind of a slight rigidness that breaks up that swung flow. And that's how we escape and go back into the main riff. And so those are really the main two sections of the whole song. Now, when there is the guitar solo sections, a really important thing is to not fall into our kind of blues rock style of playing. We are going to be playing pentatonic based vocabulary, but we're going to be really, really sparing with the vibrato, and we're not going to do any bending at all either in this track. It's all just going to be kind of single notes with really shallow vibrato and making use of that wah and kind of the funk rhythmical ideas. So important as well not to be too busy. There's intentionally a lot of space. That's probably even too much, what I've just played there. So listen closely to what's on the track. There's lots of kind of single held notes. Letting the wah open up. So that's the kind of approach that we want to be going for those kind of things. We don't want to be getting out our rock licks or anything like that on a song like this. Now, the next really important thing that we need to talk about is the left hand muting. Okay, so this is really important. So when we play our little riff, when I do the pull off, I'm going to slightly let go with that first finger so that the note is short. I don't want to leave it on, otherwise it will ring too long. And it also doesn't sound right if I rely on right hand muting. It's got to be that slight let go, almost like the note is half fretted. Okay, so that's really important as well. Now when we do play the riff, when we go up to the A minor chord, we are going to make those notes really punch and really sing. That bit's where the guitar really comes into the foreground in a more aggressive way. And then when we go back to the main riff, that will all be with that half muted stuff. Have a dig into those things. I would recommend that you just get your head around feeling the groove first and just really getting that kind of sense of time feel to really lock in. So even though the parts are really simple, that's the point of this tune. That's the emphasis, is to be able to get into that groove, enjoy that groove, and develop our control of time feel. So good luck with that one, and I'll see you next time.